Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Nur.
My name is Nur.
And together we are Light-Hearted
Dads. For me, I'm finding it very weird having a 15-month-old kid and he recognizes me as a friend. And I remember my wife telling me, I'm like, as a joke, she obviously said it, but I think she was hinting it. I'm like, and she randomly says, I said to her, "Oh, he's so much like me in terms of character," and she's like, "Yeah, someone has to be the mother and the father." And I was like, "Sorry?" She goes, "Yeah, he just recognizes you as a friend." And I was like, "Ooh," "Ooh." I said, "Are you serious or are you joking?" Because I can't tell when she's serious. She goes, "Nah, I'm joking," but I know there was a element of truth in there because literally, even changing his nappies, I make it fun. Do you get it? He's twisting and turning, and I'm like poking him, and this and that. But for her, it's like, yo, I need to change you because it might make a mess and stuff like that. And literally, even while he's going to sleep, I'm carrying him. He's laughing. I can't help it but laugh with him. Do you get it? And my wife's like, "Oh, you're gonna wake him up." And literally, it's like so rigid. It's like
You see that, between mums and dads, different approaches. Because obviously, mum's there doing all the, all the tasks that need to be done with your son at home. We might be at work and other things like that. So for her, changing a nappy is just another task. For her, all of those things are just another thing that needs to be done. Whereas when you're coming home, you're looking at, okay, changing a nappy, you're having fun, you're doing this, you're having fun. And, and that's just the natural approaches that tend to happen with fathers and mothers and getting things done. And he, sometimes they can get frustrated. Mums get frustrated, like, oh, because you always play with him. He expects me to play with him as well.
Yeah,
I don't have the energy to play with him.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I just want to get your nappy changed. Yeah. And he gets wound up. And you can get into a little argument between, your son and your wife. With, getting a nappy change and changing around. Actually, I remember one of the best ones was he used to, Khubayb, my third son, my third child, second son. He used to be so funny. He's a very cheeky boy, yeah, when he was young. And then he used to come and his mum used to go, "Okay, would you change your nappy?" And he go, "Nope," and he run away. He goes, "You change your nappy?" "Nope," and run away. And then she said it a few times. I walk in and say, "Wait, let's get your nappy." "Okay," and just runs upstairs.
Yeah,
he's just like so easy. She'd be like, those things happen because what happens with kids, especially, because from when they're born, they're always attached to their mum. Yeah, especially if they're being breastfed and all of those things. Yeah, so they're going through that period. The attachments there, they're very close, and then what happens is they start entering a phase of independence where they can now say, "Hang on a minute, I don't want this," and they start saying no.
Yeah,
no. Yeah. Now what happens is it switches. I've always had you all this time, mum. Yeah. Now I want dad. Yeah. So then you see his phase. A lot of mothers, they get, especially if they've got just the first child and not experienced this before, they're like, "Oh, what's happened? My son doesn't love me anymore. He doesn't want me. He always goes with his dad. He always wants his dad. I want dad to feed me. I want dad to do this. I want dad to do that." Yeah. So those things, they go through a stage, and that usually hits. It's going to come very soon with you. Yeah. It's around between 2 and 3 years is when it starts kicking off a lot more of that independence, and you're going to start seeing them saying no. That's what they do about the terrible twos.
He says no now, mate. He says no, and he goes mine, and certain things he's very independent. Do you get it? Even like he knows fruits, so he just wants it. Everything is apple, and he wants it now. And then I don't know. I just bend in, and I just like, all right, go on, mate. There you go. Whereas his mum's very stern and it's like no. But yeah, you know what? I guess it's normal.
Yeah,
which is
normal.
Good. Like I'm thinking I'm doing something wrong because it's my first time.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking I'm doing something wrong. Even when the wife's telling me to put him to sleep, like I feel like I have to turn into this parent that has to be serious, and then I can't help it but to like start messing about. And then even while he's eating, like that's another thing that when my son when I'm feeding him. When he says, "Okay, I've had enough," he goes, "This," I stop feeding him. I was like, all right, he doesn't want to eat anymore. But his mum's adamant that he needs to eat all of it. Yeah. And I'm like, does he really need to? He's saying no. She goes, "Trust me, he can eat all of it. He needs to," because obviously she's maintaining him all day. so she knows what he's eaten, hasn't eaten, what his routine is and stuff like that. So I said like he won't eat, and like it comes to a point where we are debating if he's gonna eat or not. So she takes over, and literally within a few minutes he's eating the whole thing, and I'm like thinking, damn, you know,
what did I do wrong?
Yeah, what did I do wrong? Because he knows who to, even though he's only 15 months, he knows who he can play with, how to do with what, and you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I know. My youngest one, he turned 4 in July. So yeah, with him, it's like especially when you go to nursery, I was always the one who had to change him. Yeah, because I was the only one who could change him.
Okay.
Meaning I knew the techniques and the ways. You have to make it a game of things, and then you get him changed. Yeah, because he was going through a phase of I don't want to go. You know, he might do those. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
You know, and so and
have you got the whys yet?
The what?
The whys.
What's that?
Why?
Oh, why? Okay, right. I thought you said wise as in like wisdom. I'm like, what's that?
no, not wise.
I was getting confused.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah, no, you get the wise. The funny thing is, his latest word now, is I don't care.
Wow.
And I was like, where'd you learn that from? I've had there's 5 of you above you. I've never used that word before. And like he's like number 6, and it was the youngest and everything. And he's like, I don't care. And I was like, today, he's like, he chucked something, and I said, you can't do that. I don't care.
Wow.
And I was like,
wow.
I had to go double check. I'm like, what? That's the first time he said it to me, because my wife was complaining, like, you know, have you heard your son? He says, I don't care sometimes. So he's picked up it, and it is. He actually doesn't know what it means.
Yeah.
And he's just using it as a response, yeah? And so a lot of the times what happens with language as well, you know, kids always talk about, parents always talk about, oh, my son's using some language. Oh, no, what do I do? You know? And sometimes what it is they're picked up innocently. They don't know what it is. So they do need to be told, like, look, this isn't what we say, but don't give so much attention to it, because the more attention you give to it, kids are like, oh, okay, this triggers you. So I'll say again, you know, it's a game for them. So, but yeah, what I was saying about I had to change my son. Yeah, but when it comes to feeding, yeah, I'm just not good at it with my son, man. I mean, I'll do, like you said, a couple of bites, and then he goes off like, I just don't have the temperament for it. And he also knows. He goes, no, I want mum to feed me, because he knows that mum's the one that can. So sometimes it will happen as you grow. You'll find it that some things, you know, your kid finds more comfortable with you, something with the mum, and that's perfectly fine, because you shouldn't look at it as that. Oh, you've now replaced the mum, or your mum's now also, or the mum's also, or the wife's also become mum and dad. You know, it's you are playing. It's just a joint role in raising the kids. But obviously you've got your designated areas generally.
Yeah.
But it's not a rigid area. There's fluidity in terms of how you can kind of do things. So, like I said, yeah, most of the time your wife will probably change, feed him, and so forth. But it doesn't stop you from doing it when you have the opportunity and ability to do so.